All right, so wanted to do a review of this guy. Just got it. I've had it for maybe a month or two. This is the LG CX10. So I had a 1080p Sony, and it had a couple dead pixels, and it was only 1080p. Didn't have HDR, so it needed an upgrade. And this is what I ended up getting. Now, interesting story for me, I actually bought a Samsung initially. So it was the Samsung Q80, and it was actually bigger. It was a 75, this one's a 65, and I ended up returning it. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, is just try to explain why I did that. And I think some people will be completely happy with the Samsung. It's just I prefer, and it's mostly the color and the contrast. I mostly prefer the color and contrast of this over what I was getting out of the Samsung. So the Samsung was bigger, but it had nowhere near the contrast that this has. And yes, I am aware that it is a brighter TV. However, if you factor in that this gets darker into this pure black, like the edge, right? Like, look at this, it's pure black. I mean, I can even, we can go, yeah, see? On the Samsung, it's not like that. You always get this where it's almost like a really dark gray kind of situation. So I really didn't like that. And I didn't think that it was that bright that I was like just blown away. And I also don't like how they do their video processing. It just seems more unnatural. And that's like, as in things are moving across the screen. I don't like it. In fact, LG I don't like as much as the Sony, but I was too cheap to buy the Sony. And well, the other thing with the Sony OLEDs is they don't get as bright. So I think the LG is the good compromise there. So yeah, other thing is just like how it looks. Like, look at this. Look how thin this guy is. Crazy. This is my big old fat finger. So it just looks super nice. This is a metal stand, and it's glass too. The screen glass. So I just think there's just like picking up and taking it out of the box compared to the Samsung, there's a level of quality out of the LG that just, the Samsung feels cheap and chintzy and crappy. Even the menus, I like how LG does their operating system compared to Samsung. The Samsung one just seems cheap. And I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. Now, I think the Samsung, in terms of like raw, like sports kind of stuff, maybe, I think you have an advantage there. I've seen some examples where that's a little bit better. But I mean, I just think color, contrast, design, this is a significantly nicer TV. Oh, and Dolby Vision. So I kept seeing reviews about Dolby Vision and how it didn't matter that much. Well, I don't know. I watch a lot of Netflix, and the Netflix stuff, HDR10, compared to how they do it with their Dolby Vision, it is way better in Dolby Vision. So I don't know. So I just want to do this review. I think it is worth going with the LG CX over the Samsung. Now, maybe if you step up to the Samsung's 8K line, maybe they're more comparable, but I like, why? Because then you're spending as much as one of these, and one of these is still going to be nicer. You're still going to have the better contrast. You're still going to have all that. I suppose if you want that just like blinding light that those 8Ks can give you, then that might be accurate. That might be better. But again, you're down to LG, proven technology. They've been doing these for forever. LG's making panels for Vizio. They're making panels for Sony. They're making their own stuff. I mean, they know what's going on here. So I wanted to try to give one example here. Now, keep in mind, the camera is going to blow this stuff out. and so it's not going to be exactly the same. But let me try to give this example here. So this one little piece of content, and I can't play it because I think I'll get flagged. I might get flagged anyways here, but see this dark scene, and right here, this, so it does not look the same in on camera, but this on the Samsung, this was all just like kind of washed together. And again, on the camera, it's gonna look a little washed together, but on the actual TV, these look very crisp. It's like looking at little stars, on a clear night. And on the Samsung, it was all muddled up or whatever. I mean, it just looks like very beautiful. And the shadows here, like, I mean, if I step back, I mean, it almost looks like this is a picture, right? From like that I took off of this phone, but it's not. This is content. And this light is just such a cool example too. And I'm not gonna be able to show it very well because the camera is not gonna pick it up. But I mean, it's all blown out on the Samsung stuff. But because of the contrast of the OLEDs, this thing can just be bright AF, and then have this nice like shadow detail down. So yeah, I mean, I had the Q80, and this LG just blows it away. Yeah, it sucks because it's a little bit smaller, and I was too cheap to step up to their 77-inch, but I kind of regret it now, like just seeing how pretty this thing is. So again, anyways, big fan. I really like it. I've had no issues with the burn-in nonsense. So I think that's whatever. You can look up, LG does a whole bunch of fancy tricks to prevent that from happening anyways. And so I think that if you're looking for a TV and you have the ability to spend in this price range, this thing is just, it's killer. Freaking killer. And even like, so the reflections was interesting too. Like I thought that the Samsung was better, but what ended up happening is their weird little reflection thing like ended up having this straight line just like blinding me, where like there is more like raw reflection because of the glass on here, but it seems like it soaks it up better. So I haven't had much of an issue with this in like daylight viewing either. So it's pretty killer. I would definitely recommend it. So LG CX10, give it a try.